Ladies and gentlemen, it is with fear and consternation that I report to you this fall, the Beast will return to One Arrowhead Drive. The Kansas City Chiefs have re-signed Mike Pennel. In an article titled "Chiefs Announced They Have Brought Back Mike Pennel," subtitled "The Beast is Returning for the 2025 NFL Season from Arrowhead Pride" by Peter Sweeney, we get the following. Pennel, 33, entered the league as an undrafted free agent out of CSU Pueblo following the conclusion of the 2014 NFL Draft. The 6'4", 330-pound defensive tackle was a key addition for the Chiefs midway through the 2019 season as the team defeated the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl Live. Forward in that same article, the run stuffer appeared in all 17 games for the Chiefs in 2024, playing 30% of the snaps. Pennel rounds out a Kansas City Chiefs defensive line room that recently added defensive tackle Jerry Tillery and brought back defensive lineman Charles Omenihu. The one sort of note that I would make on this, well, there's two notes really I've got to make. 30% of the snaps is probably too much for Mike Pennel because of his size and his age. That is not where you want to see Mike Pennel playing, at least as far as the snap counts are concerned. Number two, okay, maybe three things here. Number two, Jerry Tillery is listed as a defensive tackle. Charles Omenihu listed as a defensive lineman. I would argue that in the Steve Spagnuolo defense, both Jerry Tillery and Charles Omenihu will be listed as defensive linemen because they will have inside-outside type of versatility. You're not going to see Mike Pennel at the edge position. Those other two, Tillery and Omenihu, I believe you will see at both of those positions. So that's what's going on there. Recently added. There was something else I was going to say, but I'm sure I will get back to it in a moment. Anyway, this is what you're looking at with Mike Pennel from a statistical standpoint. 11 years, 231 tackles. 11 years, 14 tackles for loss. 11 years, 5 sacks. 11 years, 17 quarterback hits. You're getting a guy who averages a half a sack, 28 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 QB hits per season. But even that's not true because you've got 14 tackles for loss in 11 years. It's way closer to 1, and 17 QB hits per 11 years. That's way closer to 1 as well. But you're not signing Mike Pennel for statistical output. Mike Pennel is a member of the Kansas City Chiefs and is still in the NFL at 33 years old because he is big, he is brutish, he is able to double gap, and if someone runs at him, someone runs into him. So that's what you have Mike Pennel on the team for. Moving forward, just looking a little bit more at what it was that I was talking about earlier, played 320 snaps in 2024. Now, guys, he had not played 300 plus snaps is a rarity for him in his career. The Chiefs do not need Mike Pennel to hit the 300 snap mark. Mike Pennel needs to be a run-stuffing second and short, third and short defensive lineman. Not only do the Chiefs, I think, have to hope they have more early down talent at defensive tackle than Mike Pennel, but it also keeps Mike Pennel fresh in games and fresh late in the season. That is the goal for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are not playing for Week 5. The Kansas City Chiefs do not take home regular season Super Bowl trophies like the Buffalo Bills do. The Kansas City Chiefs are hoping to push deep into the playoffs. And if you want a run-stuffing defensive tackle to be available deep into the playoffs at 33, possibly 34, I don't know when his birthday will be, years old, he has to be a guy that's not playing 320 snaps during the regular season. It's just going to be the reality of it for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this next bit is a little bit outdated. That basically means absolutely nothing other than this is where the athlete that is Mike Pennel was when he entered the league. 6'4" and 1/4 inches, 332 pounds, 33 3/8 inch arms. Hopefully his arms are still the same length, and that is good enough when you're going against guards and centers to really keep your distance. 28.5 inch vertical leap, 8'8" inch broad jump. Actually, both of those are on the better side of things for what I would expect from a 6'4", 332 pound athlete, and then 23 reps on the bench press. This is your classic nose guard. So why is it worth talking about? Why is it worth reporting that the Kansas City Chiefs have re-signed Mike Pennel, a guy who got 320 snaps last season, but who you hope has closer to his 2023 total of 45 snaps during the regular season? That would probably be okay with me. It would be okay with me, quite frankly, if Mike Pennel were on your practice squad until the playoffs. 1,000%. That would be okay with me. I don't care what the financial terms of this are. If he ends up on the practice squad, because undoubtedly the war of attrition will take its toll, and someone on the Kansas City Chiefs will miss the end of the season and the playoffs. Just that's the nature of football. Then you activate Mike Pennel as the first man up. But what Brett Veach has done is continued to tick boxes heading up to the draft. Now, is Mike Pennel a home run re-sign? Is Mike Pennel absolutely the greatest defensive tackle, nose tackle in general that you're going to want to see for the Kansas City Chiefs leading into the 2025 season? Absolutely not. That's just not the case. I think he's a good piece. I think that, so he's one of the guys that I will root for regardless of where he plays, just because he is, the story there is a good one, right? But what Brett Veach has continued to do is to say, I want to be completely unpredictable in the draft. Do they still need a defensive tackle? Yeah, they probably need a starting defensive tackle. If you went into the season with Jerry Tillery and Mike Pennel as your second and third defensive tackles, guys, you're all right. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be good. It's going to be all right. You have done more with less in the past. You've won Super Bowls. You've gone to Super Bowls with worse starting defensive tackles than Jerry Tillery / Mike Pennel. What Brett Veach is doing is setting himself up to take the best player available in this draft at every position, or what Brett Veach is doing, and I think I talked about this in yesterday's video, what Brett Veach is doing is setting himself up for a massive trade up. If you don't need a defensive tackle, a second corner, a third wide receiver, another tackle, probably a guard, a linebacker, those are all things that the Kansas City Chiefs were entering this offseason with questions. That's 7 places that the Kansas City Chiefs had questions heading into this season, not even talking about the fact that they lost Justin Reed, but I think they have the horses in the stable to replace Justin Reed with who they have. Tell me what it is they absolutely have to draft in this draft. So they can either use all of these picks to take the best player available, or they can package some of these picks to move up and make very few but very high impact picks. So say somebody that the Kansas City Chiefs believe is a top 5 talent in this draft falls to 11. And that's possible. 100% that's possible. Guys, they might have the ammo to go up and get him. And what if, like I talked about in yesterday's video about Trey Smith, what if part of that ammo is Trey Smith? He's on a 1-year deal. I think we have seen Brett Veach prove that he doesn't like to have players playing on the tag. What if that's part of it? The Chiefs have a lot of ammo to go up and get stuff in this draft. Or they can stand pat, let the board fall to them, and just time after time take the best player available. This signing makes both of those possibilities more realistic and possibly more fruitful for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.